Alright, now let's go ahead and run this locally, and before that let's look at this launch settings what we have here. And what I've done here is I've just done this launch URL as Swagger, which is the default one, and of course this is listening on some random port which is 7061 and 5205. Hopefully this is not utilized on my machine, but let's go ahead and check that. But before that, what I'm going to have is, like, I'll just go ahead and run this Docker, and I'm already running this Docker for desktop, and which is, you can see here, Docker desktop is running locally. And I'll just paste one command here, and that is to run this Docker with this command itself, and I think that is fine. And so what it is exactly is, let's say if you see this, so docker run dash e is that environment setting which is accept in user license agreement as yes. Then another is SA password, which is docker at the rate one, which is there in app settings as well. And then I'm having locally 1444 1445 port, which is mapped to 1433. Actually, I have said in the last video 1445 is the default port for SQL Server, which is my mistake, which is basically 1433. And you can run this if you I'm currently running with this 2017, which I'm running on my machine, but you can obviously do this with the 2019 latest, as there is nothing specific with this SQL in this particular demo. So you can do this job with any of the images. That's up to you entirely. And of course I'm running this into detached mode itself. So now let's go ahead and quickly do that run itself, and let's say what it gives. And yes, it has come up nicely. And if you see this is the SHA value for that. And if you just do this docker ps, you can see that, like, this MCR Microsoft is running fine, and that is what the name has been given, the default name stoic cause, and that's fine. Now let's go ahead and start this into debug mode, and let's put certain breakpoints. And if in case we want to see this seed data as well, we can also have some breakpoints here, and we'll see whether how it's going. And now let's see whether it's working fine or not. Let it come. All right, so now it has come to this breakpoint, which is into this program.cs itself. Let's step through and let it go. Let come out, and looks like some. All right, so this exception which has occurred could not log load type from service. And this exception, why it is happening, because the thing is, this mediator pattern which I'm using, this version 11, is not supported with this. So what we could do is we can certainly utilize this, the other version 11 itself, and then we can cross check this once, because looks like there are certain changes with this mediator package which is not included with version 12, especially from the extensions piece, and that is why it is giving issue. So let's fix this part. All right, now let's go ahead and utilize this version 11 itself, and so where exactly it's used. So let's go ahead and do this into this application, and let's put this 11. Let's save this so that it can download this particular package here and restore that. And then inside this API, what I'm going to have this, that dependency injection for me. We don't need this guy here. We are only going to need this dependency injection, and of course let's stick to the same version. And also we not going to need this as well, because we are going to register the dependency injection here, so that is going to be part of configure services itself. So this should be fine. So we are not going to need any implementation here, right? We are just going to register that. So for that only dependency injection is there. Let's go ahead and quickly build this again. Let's clean solution, rebuild, and now let's go ahead and run this again. All right, so looks like I have just given a plain run, but let it see whether it's coming fine or not. If it comes fine, then we can simply, but although Swagger has come, but there was certain error. Value cannot be null. Connection string. Okay, we'll see this. What value it's expecting and connection string. But since it's running in container, so that is fine. I do not need to have this one. Anyways, let's go ahead and check this whether these values are seeded correctly or not. If I just give this version 1 and let's have this context value, like what you know in the context seed, what we have seeded that data. And if you see this data here, movie context seed, let's collapse this, and director name is, let's say, James Cameron. And if I just go ahead and put this here and let's execute this and let's see what it gives. And it says like movie collection, register your name handlers with container. Okay, so it's giving me an exception for registration itself. Let's go ahead and do that next.